Right now, as you're watching this, your grocery bill is higher than it was last year. Your gas tank costs more to fill. Your rent or mortgage keeps creeping upward. And every single trip to the store feels like a small financial battle. You're not imagining it. Your paycheck, your social security check, your SSI or SSDI payment, it simply isn't stretching as far as it used to. And if you're caring for kids, aging parents, or managing medical costs, that pressure hits even harder. This isn't just numbers on a screen. This is your fridge, your medicine cabinet, your electric bill, your family's security. And today's update could directly affect all of it. Across the country, millions of Americans are asking the same question. Is relief finally coming? You've heard whispers about stimulus talks, you've seen headlines about benefit increases. But what happens when those two ideas collide at the same time? What happens when there's momentum building for extra support while adjustments to benefits are also lining up? That's exactly what we're breaking down today. Clearly, honestly, and without the confusing government jargon that makes your head spin. Because this isn't about politics. It's about whether you can breathe easier next month. It's about whether your check keeps up with real-life costs. It's about whether your family can plan instead of constantly reacting. And in just a moment, you'll see why this moment feels different than past rumors, why timing matters more than ever, and why staying informed could protect your wallet in ways you didn't expect. Stick with me, because the next section reveals why so many Americans are suddenly paying attention at once. Why everyone is talking about stimulus plus increase together. Normally, stimulus discussions and benefit increases live in separate worlds. Stimulus payments usually show up when the economy hits a rough patch or lawmakers want to jumpstart spending. Benefit increases, on the other hand, tend to move slowly, often tied to inflation adjustments or policy changes. But right now, something unusual is happening. Both conversations are heating up at the same time, and that's why this moment has people watching closely. You've probably noticed how everyday costs refuse to come back down. Food prices don't magically reset. Insurance premiums don't shrink overnight. Utility bills don't politely apologize and drop. When inflation lingers, fixed incomes feel the pain first. If your check is predictable, but your expenses are not, the math never works in your favor. That's why many advocates and policymakers are pushing for adjustments that better reflect reality, not just spreadsheets. At the same time, economic pressure continues to ripple through households. Credit card balances are rising. Emergency savings are shrinking. Families are stretching payments longer just to stay afloat. That's where stimulus discussions start gaining momentum, not as a luxury, but as a bridge to stability. A short-term boost can help families catch up on overdue bills, refill savings, or avoid falling into deeper debt. Now imagine these two forces aligning, possible short-term relief paired with ongoing benefit adjustments. That combination creates something powerful, not just a temporary patch, but the potential for real breathing room. But here's the catch. Nothing moves overnight. Timelines, eligibility, and implementation details matter, and misunderstanding the process can lead to false expectations or missed opportunities. That's why the next section breaks down exactly how SSI, SSDI, and Social Security fit into this evolving picture, and what it could realistically mean for you. What SSI recipients need to watch closely if you receive SSI, you already know how tight every dollar feels. SSI is designed to support people with limited income and resources, yet the cost of living keeps pushing those limits further apart. When food prices climb and housing costs spike, a small monthly adjustment can make the difference between stability and stress. That's why any conversation about increases or supplemental support matters deeply to you and your household. An increase typically reflects broader cost pressures, but the challenge is timing. Adjustments don't always match the pace of real-world price hikes. Many recipients feel the impact months before any official update arrives. That lag creates strain, missed appointments, delayed prescriptions, postponed necessities. When policymakers discuss additional relief alongside potential benefit changes, it raises a critical question. Could SSI recipients see both forms of support working together instead of waiting years for meaningful relief? Another factor many people overlook is how eligibility and reporting rules can affect your total support. Changes in income thresholds, resource limits, or calculation methods can quietly reshape how much assistance actually lands in your account. Even a small technical shift can have big consequences for monthly budgeting. Staying informed helps you avoid surprises and plan ahead instead of reacting in panic. But here's the suspense. Not every proposal becomes reality, and not every adjustment applies equally to all recipients. Some changes target specific income brackets or household situations. That's why understanding the direction of discussions matters as much as the final outcome. In the next section, we'll turn our focus to SSDI, where work history, disability status, and benefit formulas create a different set of opportunities and challenges. SSDI, why timing and policy matter more than ever. For SSDI recipients, stability is everything. Your benefits often represent a lifeline built on years of work and contributions, and any adjustment carries serious weight for your long-term planning. Medical costs, therapy appointments, mobility needs, and daily living expenses rarely stay flat. When benefits lag behind real expenses, the stress compounds fast. Potential increases tied to broader economic conditions could help offset rising costs. But SSDI recipients also watch stimulus discussions closely because temporary relief can fill gaps that long-term adjustments don't address. A one-time boost might help with overdue medical bills, home repairs, or transportation needs that regular payments can't absorb easily. Another important layer is how policy updates interact with eligibility rules. Some recipients worry that extra income could affect benefit calculations or future reviews. Understanding how temporary relief differs from permanent benefit changes is critical for protecting your financial security. Knowledge equals power here, and misinformation spreads fast online. What makes this moment especially interesting is how multiple economic pressures are converging. Labor markets, healthcare costs, and demographic shifts all influence how support programs evolve. SSDI isn't isolated from these forces. Decisions made today ripple across future benefit structures. And that brings us directly to the largest group affected: Social Security retirees and near retirees, where the scale of impact becomes massive. Social Security, the biggest ripple effect. If you rely on Social Security, you already feel how sensitive your budget is to even small changes. A slight increase can help cover groceries for the month. A small delay or shortfall can force uncomfortable choices. When discussions about both stimulus and benefit adjustment surface together, the ripple effect touches nearly every household across the country. Retirees often face rising healthcare premiums, property taxes, and everyday essentials that don't slow down just because income is fixed. When benefit updates trail inflation, purchasing power quietly erodes. That's why many Americans are paying close attention to signals about potential increases, not just the size, but the sustainability. Temporary relief discussions matter too. Many retirees support extended families, help grandchildren, or assist aging spouses. A stimulus-style payment could provide flexibility during high-cost months or unexpected emergencies, but timing remains the big unknown. Government processes move slower than household needs, which creates anxiety and speculation. The real suspense lies in alignment. If adjustments and relief arrive together or close in timing, the combined impact could offer meaningful breathing room. If they arrive separately or with delays, the relief may feel less effective. That uncertainty keeps millions watching for updates daily, including you. Next, let's simplify what stimulus really means today and how it differs from past relief efforts. What stimulus means in today's economy. When people hear the word stimulus, many immediately think of past direct payments. But modern stimulus discussions go beyond simple checks. They can include targeted relief, tax credits, benefit enhancements, or short-term support programs designed to stabilize households during economic stress. The purpose isn't just spending, it's stabilization. It helps families avoid falling behind on rent, utilities, healthcare, and essential needs. It can also protect local economies by keeping money circulating in communities instead of piling up in unpaid bills. However, stimulus programs depend heavily on political negotiations, budget priorities, and economic indicators. That's why timelines shift and expectations must stay realistic. Understanding the difference between proposal, approval, and delivery prevents disappointment and confusion. The key takeaway for you is this: stimulus relief is temporary, but when combined with structural benefit increases, it can create both immediate and lasting impact. That's the momentum many analysts are watching closely right now. Next, we'll talk about how you can protect yourself from misinformation and prepare responsibly, how to stay smart and avoid false promises. In times of uncertainty, misinformation spreads faster than facts. Social media headlines can exaggerate timelines or promise amounts that were never approved. Clicking every rumor creates emotional roller coasters. Hope today, disappointment tomorrow. The smartest move is focusing on credible updates, understanding policy stages, and avoiding emotional decisions based on unverified claims. Budget cautiously. Plan conservatively. If relief arrives, treat it as a bonus, not a guarantee. Another smart step is reviewing your personal budget and identifying pressure points. Knowing where your money leaks gives you control, regardless of policy outcomes. Small adjustments today create resilience tomorrow. Staying informed empowers you instead of stressing you. And that leads directly into what actions you can take right now. What you can do right now for your family. First, track your expenses honestly. Write down essentials and discretionary spending. Knowing your real numbers helps you react wisely if changes occur. Second, stay connected to trusted updates so you don't miss legitimate announcements. Third, consider building even a small emergency buffer when possible. Why this moment matters for the future. Economic pressure doesn't disappear overnight. Decisions made during these periods shape how safety nets evolve for years. If policymakers respond effectively, programs become stronger and more adaptive. If not, gaps widen. Your voice, attention, and awareness matter. Public engagement influences priorities. Staying informed isn't passive. It's participation in shaping financial security for future generations. That's why moments like this aren't just news cycles, they're turning points. And now, let's bring it home. You're not just watching another headline. You're protecting your future, your family, and your financial stability. Whether relief comes sooner or later, knowledge gives you control. Staying informed keeps you ahead of confusion and fear. Every update you follow strengthens your confidence in decision-making. Hope lives in preparation. Strength lives in awareness. Momentum lives in community. If you want to stay ahead of every major update affecting SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and your wallet, make sure you stay connected, stay alert, and keep learning. Your financial future deserves attention, clarity, and smart action. And the next update could arrive when you least expect it. Stay ready, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next update.